hit. Currently, these places are not positioned to become dominant sub-Saharan economic hubs. In contrast, the one country in Africa that is making remarkable progress in major investments in three key areas, institutions, integration, and infrastructure, is Kenya. Kenya has come a long way.
So hello guys, there is an interesting thing that's happening. So you Google to social media, especially YouTube, utapata something. Google to the next Singapore, is Kenya the next Singapore? Utapata a lot of videos about that. And are
Unfortunately,
we are we really the next Singapore? Yeah, maybe we have all the potential and everything to be the next Singapore, but able to tusikize like introduction ya this video kiasi.
unfortunately, Africa's biggest economies. This is Africa, home to the world's youngest and fastest growing population, burgeoning cities, and bold innovations in everything from fintech to clean energy. With its population set to nearly double by 2050, reaching 2.5 billion people, Africa stands as a beacon of opportunity for inclusive growth, leveraging its vast natural resources and abundant human potential to increase prosperity not only in Africa but around the world. As a result, many multinational corporations see a need to have a direct presence somewhere in sub-Saharan Africa. Many such companies have already established a presence in Asia, particularly in Singapore, which is now increasingly popular as a business hub. According to a report by the Economist Intelligence Unit, Singapore boasts the world's most favorable business environment for the next 5 years. However, the question arises, which African region might witness a similar surge in corporate presence? Unfortunately, Africa's biggest economies are struggling lately. Nigeria's economy is heavily reliant on oil and has seen a decline in GDP per capita since 2015 due to plummeting crude prices. Infrastructure issues, power outages, and inconsistent policies further compound its woes. Similarly, Angola, also oil-dependent, strives to diversify its economy amidst mounting debt, primarily owed to China. In South Africa, challenges stem from crony capitalism, electricity shortages, and inadequate investment, leading to its second recession in 2 years before the pandemic hit. Currently, these places are not positioned to become dominant sub-Saharan economic hubs. In contrast, the one country in Africa that is making remarkable progress in major investments in three key areas, institutions, integration, and infrastructure, is Kenya. Kenya has come a long way in the last 20 years, from a country plagued by poverty and political
So so based ukisikiza hiyo vida
and
there are key points. Mostly the advantages we have for us to be Singapore. The main advantage I think there are like three. Number one ni positioning ya Kenya. Place tuko juu. Ukiangalia we are in the eastern side. Na tuko na a port, tuko kwa ocean. Na the interesting thing about the correlation Singapore na Kenya ni hiyo the advantageous part ya boat ya port inatuwezesha kukua na ability ya trade, yani like we can dock very large ships. Goods zinaweza kuja from wherever, USA, Europe, zikuje zidock kwa port yetu, then ziende to Middle East, India and the other places, Australia. Same way to Singapore, that's why they developed. Number two ni the factors of production. Okay, there are 4 factors of production, which is land, capital, labor na entrepreneurship. So if you look at all those factors, The most important one for economic growth, the most important for factor for economic growth in this current era ya globalization ni the factor it is the labor part. Advantageous thing about us and that's why we should always sing for Kibaki ni alitupea free education. Free education imetuwezesha tukakuwa na labor. Tukiona education the man Kenya, the best advantage ingine ya our labor ni through education kuna so much ina happen. For example tech, ICT, kuna wase wamejaribu hadi majuu wanakuja Kenya kucheki how we surviving in something like M-Pesa. Like naweza tumia shosho yangu do akiwa Ocha. Hizo shit hazi happy easily. Hizo shit hazi happen kuna countries za majuu wana struggle na some things like that. The problem ni the Safaricom wanatuibia like man, the cost of transaction iko so high. But so high. So those two main factors hata chana na capital na nini the strategic position na the availability of capital hiyo inatupea a head start like above river. So if you are Nigeria, South Africa na Angola na all okay Argentina na the advantage Kenya tuko Saudi Arabia na India ziko tu hapa kukua like a middleman ya Europe na Middle East na India. So that might help us a lot kukua na kwa growth yetu. So lakini kuna some factors internally which are good and bad that we need to enhance. The education saizi education yetu inaingiliwa na mzungu sana. They realized oh fuck hawa say wako na they're becoming so enlightened. Juu tunaweza chapa job za majuu tunaweza tunaenduko tuna take over. So that's why kuna I believe but I analyze I believe sorry kama CBC ni hiyo ni they are just trying to meander na kuharibu the level of intellectual in our country juu. For example, saizi the political another thing in political awareness. The moment tumesolve political awareness, kila msee anajua anaweza kuja alete do yake hapa. Na hakuna na these bad things. I think it's so easy for us kukua a 30,000 USD GDP per capita. Like kila msee in every budget ako allocated like over 1 million Kenyan shillings. So we have the potential ukweli we can be the next Singapore, but we have to fight corruption number one. Tukisha fight corruption of which we are doing really well. If we get just a perfect president next year, trust me. Then another thing, we are a very eloquent English speaking nation. So hiyo kuconverse na the rest of the world inakuwa so easier for us. So msee kuja kuseta mazee busy yake huku communicate inakuwa easy. That's why unapata kienda Kilimani kuna a lot of the whites wana enjoy kukamuku ka like jana nimeona msee alicode Twitter Jack Dorsey aliko huku na inakuwa so easy kucommunicate na so surely we have all the ingredients za kukua the next Singapore if we just solve, I think, the political part, the political part, our governance. Tukisha solve hiyo man, I think we are good to go and become the next Singapore. So thank you guys, maze. Subscribe to my channel, also like for more reaction video like this. Adios.